Austin City Limits is the longest-running music series in American television history and the only television program to ever receive the National Medal of Arts. Join us at the table as we discuss PBS's Austin City Limits.
I'm Lainey.
And I'm Laura Beth. And we are
Steel Magnolias. The strength of steel with the grace of a magnolia.
We are here to have uplifting conversations about life in the South.
And we've got plenty of room at our table. So pull up a chair.
Welcome back to the show. We are starting November off with a fun topic, but before we do that, I thought it would be interesting since a lot of focus in November is gratefulness, thankfulness. We've gotten past the start of fall. We're not quite to Christmas yet, so really we're supposed to be, taking time to remember and think about things we're thankful for, and not to sound cliche, but we are thankful for our listeners. And
so much.
Yeah. And there's sometimes, times when we'll get messages from you guys, and it's very, very encouraging to us when we do get those messages. We see reviews from time to time, and in an effort to say thanks and to receive thanks, we wanted to encourage you all to leave reviews on whatever podcast platform you listen on. There's so many out there. Most of you guys listen on Apple Podcasts, and there's definitely an easy way for you to leave a review on that platform. So just give us 5 stars and tell us what you think about the podcast, why you think people should listen, what you love about it. Now, to encourage you guys to do that, because I do realize it does take some time and effort to do that. Not long.
Not that long.
Takes 30 seconds, but it does take effort. I'm not above also deleting an email or deleting a request to leave a review, but just to incentivize you guys, we wanted to let you know that if you'll take a screenshot of your review and message that to us either through Instagram or Facebook, or email us, and we read your review or your commentary on the show this month, then we will send you some swag. So that's your incentive to do so. I'll go ahead and kick off this week's messaging from our sweet friend Carla. She lives all the way up in New Hampshire, but she was born in the South, and she loves the podcast. She's been missing the South, real bad. So she had a longer message than what I'm going to read, but the short of it was, I sort of stumbled on your podcast. I don't even know how, but it has just filled my heart more than I could say. It's been an answer to that prayer, to just hear y'all chatting and being sisters. It's exactly what I needed. Thank you for blessing my heart so much.
Blessing my heart.
That is the correct use of wonderful. Bless your heart, blessing my heart. That is not the trite way that people think bless your heart is always used in the South. That is the correct way to use it. So thank you, Carla. And thank you for showing the world how to correctly use that forsaken phrase. Yes. So Carla, you're getting some swag, and I've already reached out to you this week for your address. So
I love it.
Y'all do that. All the ways to contact us will be in today's show notes, and you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, or message us through email. Okay.
Austin City Limits.
You mentioned that Austin City Limits has received the National Medal of Arts, and that is the nation's highest award for artistic excellence. I felt like that was important to say, because
only television program to ever receive it. That is pretty special.
Yeah. Sometimes when these awards are given, we don't know the clout that they carry if that's not our industry, or we don't really know anything about that name of that award. I think a lot of us do know Time Magazine, and ACL, Austin City Limits, was recently recognized by Time Magazine as one of the 10 most influential music programs of all time.
It's next year is their 50th year.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of decades of influence.
A lot. So yeah, we wanted to cover this topic, and
it's been on my list for a while.
Share some history on it, talk about why it's important, and just what it's meaning for culture, for Southern culture.
Well, I grew up watching our dad watch Austin City Limits. He was quite the PBS watcher. He
Yes.
loved that show. Mystery.
Oh my goodness, so many mystery.
Like, there's so many shows
episodes.
that I knew the music
Yes.
from, because I didn't really watch them.
Yeah.
But they
The
were
opening
on.
sketch. Yes, I can see it now.
You know, when we had all of 4 or 5
6
stations to
yeah.
choose
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
So yeah, Dad
With
was
the
a
dial.
big. That's right.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
So Dad watched a lot of Austin City Limits in the 70s, and so that means I heard a lot of Austin City Limits.
Yeah, yeah. And he still loves music, and he still listens to a lot of the artists that we're going to talk about today that have been frequenting that stage a lot. But yeah.
Well, one thing I was thinking as I was looking through, one of the things on their website that was so much fun for me to look at was the anthology of who all's been on. You just go through, like,
Yeah.
I think they might have it alphabetical.
Nice.
And so I was thinking, if you just wanted to be, okay, this show started, maybe, I don't know if I should go, I'll go ahead and go into this.
Yeah.
It started more with country music.
Yes. Yes.
Then it kind of went into later
Yeah.
a little bit more rock.
Yeah.
And now it's all branches of
Yes.
music.
Yes.
So anyhow, with that progression happening, I was thinking, if you really wanted to just know, like, hey, who are the hip artists right
Yes. Yes.
now? Check out who's been on Austin City Limits, and
Of
that'll
late.
get you started,
Yes.
right?
That is such a good idea. Yeah. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the progression over the years that you've
It's
seen. Because it is
fascinating.
interesting how it's progressed. But yeah, Willie Nelson recorded the original pilot episode of Austin City Limits on October 17th, 1974. Now think about, at that time, he was not like the musical icon that he is today. He was an artist, but he wasn't.
Mom has a funny story
Willie
of working
Nelson.
in a record studio here in Nashville, and she wasn't sure if there was a homeless person that was coming to the door. It turns out it was Willie Nelson, but
Yeah, she was a little afraid being the only person at the office because I think it was like lunch hour or something. Yeah, but you know what was funny? I'll put the link to that performance in our show notes because it is up on YouTube, so
Yeah.
it's fun to watch. I couldn't help but notice how Willie starts the performance by saying, in this tone, "All right, all right, all right."
did he?
Now, what
Is that what that came from?
What Austin resident do you think of when you hear that?
That's hilarious. I did not know. I haven't watched that, or if I have, it's been a long time. So that's great.
So if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's coined with Matthew McConaughey. I mean, I feel like that's what most people, when they're doing an impression of him,
Absolutely.
that's what they do. I mean, he still says that today. I don't know if he got that from Willie, but that is how Willie starts that performance.
Well, and did that come from his character in
Dazed and Confused was
Dazed
the
and
movie.
Confused? Is that when he very first used that? Or is it just that tone was kind of...
No, he definitely said that in the
Okay.
movie. Yeah.
Because he says it all the time.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So I just thought that was kind
That's
of a funny
hilarious.
side note. Yeah. So originally in Studio 6A was where these were recorded, original home of television studio WLRU, formerly, excuse me, I said W. It's KLRU.
That's right.
Formerly KLRN at the University of Texas at Austin. So for 36 seasons,
That's where
that
they
was
were.
the studio that spotlighted all of these legendary artists. Now legendary artists, then not, up and coming, I guess. Innovators like Ray Charles, Merle Haggard, Loretta Lynn, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Bonnie Raitt, Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton, Pearl Jam,
Oh, yeah, that was later. But
B.B. King, Foo Fighters, even
Coldplay. I mean, everybody.
Yeah. Even Studio 6A was officially designated a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame landmark in 2009.
Oh, that's cool.
That is so cool. So, they're very proud of their roots in Studio 6A. In fact,
I
even
bet the Longhorns were a little sad to see that
I'm
get
sure.
moved. Don't you know?
I'm sure. In 2021, they even auctioned off the background from the old studio as a fundraiser for PBS. And that image was the Austin city skyline.
Which it still is.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But they auctioned off the one from Studio 6A, and I think it was divided into like 21 panels.
Okay.
And I thought that was
Wonder where that is now.
fun. Well, I think different people purchased it.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so one
you
panel's
could
in a
bid on-
fraternity house somewhere, and one's like in somebody's man cave. Okay, I get it.
It's a very rich man cave, but yeah. For 36 seasons, they
Wow.
still for the long haul. They did their recording there. So
Well, now they have a wonderful new studio
Yes.
called the Moody Theater. And the Moody Theater is a 2,750 seat venue in downtown Austin.
yes. What I wanted to say was the progression over the years, like you talked about, it really was in kind of decade phases, like early country, like as pure country as you can go back and imagine. Then into some,
Yeah, with Chet Atkins
Yes.
and like
Yes.
Roy Clark, like
Yes.
the real basic, right?
yes. And then some progressive country. And then I thought this was an interesting term that they used. So I'm not really sure what examples to give, but then they even called it Nashville centered country in the 80s. So I'm not sure what
Okay.
examples that,
Well,
like a
this is a
music
Texas
writer.
place, and there's a very distinct Texas country versus Nashville country.
Yes. So apparently in the 80s, Nashville country infiltrated a little.
Okay.
And then roots music, singer-songwriters, that sort of morphed in the 90s.
And that's when you started seeing people come in that would have been more like Bjork.
Yeah.
And
Maybe Pearl Jam.
Cowboy Junkies.
Yeah.
Some of those kind of
Yeah.
groups
Yeah,
that were
yeah.
Indigo Girls.
Yeah, a little
that kind of
alternative
stuff.
rock.
Yeah.
It's sweater weather and soup season, y'all. Laura Beth here to tell you about Zoop. Z-O-U-P. Zoop broths bring flavor to southern staples like really great grits, while their soups provide a comforting meal. Zoop is available at your favorite retailers across the country, including Instacart and online at walmart.com. For you Amazon shoppers, use promo code 20Magnolias, 20Magnolias, to get 20% off your first purchase on Amazon. Learn more at zoopbroth.com. And now, on with the show. But I think it's interesting to also look and see who's been on the show the most, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because that to me says then that's who they want the vibe to mostly be. So,
Which I bet there's going to be a lot of Texans. Is it Willie?
Willie's at the top. He's been on 11 episodes.
And Stevie Ray Vaughan, was he on a lot? He's an Austin guy. Was an Austin
how many
guy.
had he been on? I only picked people that had been on 5 episodes or more.
Okay.
And I don't see him
Okay.
in that. The very, very top was Willie Nelson, Lyle Lovett, and John Prine.
Was Rodney Crowell on a lot? I feel like he was on. I saw his name on there a lot.
Yes, he's been on 5 episodes.
Okay. That is who, right now, my friend Rob Ikes, Troy Hensley and Rob Ikes are touring with Rodney Crowell right now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How cool.
So fun.
Some others that have made multiple appearances, Patty Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
Asleep at the Wheel. I don't even know who
That's a band.
I don't know them. Maybe they're just real Austin.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Who knows? You don't have to be Austin. I'm
Yeah,
just
no.
saying maybe that's why they are there a lot. Delbert McClinton, Roseanne
Yeah.
Cash, Jason Isbell, Allison Krauss, Robert Earl King, Nancy Griffith, Emmylou Harris.
I think Nancy Griffith, Mary Chapin Carpenter, those
Yes.
kind of people is who I think of when I think of Austin City Limits.
Country,
I love it.
rootsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the best, really, information I found about the show were in Texas-specific publications.
Yeah.
I found this one article in Austin Monthly written by Tracy E.W. Laird. She's even done a book on Austin City Limits.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I loved a couple of the things that she said about the show. One thing she said was, the show has consistently floated a love for music with sincerity rather than the bedazzlement so often associated with televised music.
Okay.
And I thought that is so true, because so often the artist is sitting on a stool in a t-shirt. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like fancy.
Yeah. Which is interesting because it is broadcast. Like you'd
Right.
almost think that this must be just a radio show. Like,
Right. Or it's just in studio
yeah.
recording.
Yeah.
Right. But
Not-
it's
not so, yeah.
It's always that same set, same background. Sometimes I've seen artists jazz it up a little. When Nora Jones was on, she had some little like bird things.
Okay.
Birds hanging.
Okay.
But, that's probably something she added or
Right.
asked to have
Yeah.
added. But
For the most part,
it's the simple
pretty dialed down.
simple stage.
But we do need to highlight dialed back stage or just real simple stage, but incredible house band.
Yes.
So these guys and these men and women, similar to the players that you would hear on the Grand Ole Opry each week, these men and women, I mean, they are incredibly talented to sit and play such a wide range of genres.
Because now it's literally hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of music. She also said, that same lady, Laird, said, no musical institution so fully epitomizes the city of Austin as does the PBS concert showcase Austin City Limits. And they've been coined, Austin has, they've coined themselves, I think we should say, the live music capital of the world. So
I think
often people talk about Nashville versus Austin and the differences
Yeah,
and
yeah.
similarities in music.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think about, like, what has this done for the city? And I do think it solidifies Austin's reputation. I didn't know that they were self-acclaimed as the
Well,
live music capital of the world.
The city of Austin
Yeah.
is what coined them that. But that's probably the same with any city. They coin themselves.
Right. It's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
It's
true.
not like,
yeah.
all of us may have called Vegas Sin City. But
Yeah.
other than that,
It's true. Yeah. But yeah, there is, I wouldn't call it a riff. I would call it just like natural competition between
Yes.
Nashville and Austin
yeah.
to be the best
Yeah.
at these crafts, at these entertainment
Yeah,
avenues.
and even cities, you see comparisons of like, I think they have the Broken Spoke and we have Bluebird Cafe. And
Yeah.
there's like, who's got the better restaurant?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
barbecue and all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So funny.
And I mean, as I was doing research for this, I did see a lot of similarities between this and the Grand Ole Opry, but they're different.
But they're very different too.
Even just from the attire that you were just talking about, I mean, it would not be any surprise to see someone take the stage at the Grand Ole Opry in like a gown.
right, really dress.
Yes, as if this is an award show or, of that caliber. But yeah, just very different. And that's funny too, because that's a radio show.
Right?
So that's not even being
That's
broadcast.
hilarious, actually.
I
I,
mean, obviously,
haven't thought about that.
it's
Because there
in-
is a live group there.
Yeah, and that's a slightly larger group, but only by
Yeah.
maybe 1,000 people compared to this
Yeah, I don't
theater.
know
And
the Studio 6A what the size of that was. I would think it was
don't know.
significantly smaller
I would think so. Yeah,
than that.
Yeah.
But
it had to
anyhow.
have been.
Well, from the show going for many years, was birthed a music festival.
Yes, so crazy. The Austin City Limits Music Festival.
I believe it was 2002 when that was born.
Okay.
Let's see, is that right? Yes. And then in 2013, it expanded to 2 weekends. Like it started out just one, and now it's 2 weekends. So it draws quite a lineup.
In October each year, so it's already passed for
Just
this year.
passed.
Yeah,
Right.
and had quite the lineup. They're already, of course, you can already go ahead and sign up if you want to be the first to know the 2024 lineup. But yeah, it was 2 consecutive 3-day weekends this past October.
For a music lover, that would be pretty fun.
This past year, they had Kendrick Lamar, Lumineers, Foo Fighters, Shania Twain, Alanis Morissette, Mumford & Sons. Okay, let me just be honest. I'm only saying the names of the bands that I've heard of because
There was a day you would have known them all, but
I don't want to mispronounce and sound
now
like a
you
grandma.
have a child and not as many music festivals are happening.
There are a lot more headliners than I'm naming off right now, but I'm not familiar with them, and I'm going to mispronounce them.
Go with the 90s ones that you know.
That's right.
Shania and Foo Fighters.
Over at
Well-
the throwback stage, you can find all the ones I just named.
I've never seen the Lumineers. I know you have. I
Yes,
would love to
they're
see
so
them.
good.
Okay. Now they do try to keep this local, and I love that. So if you are making a trip to Austin, let me tell you how you go about getting tickets, because it's going to be tricky to get them if you're not a resident.
Right. They do. Yeah.
And I
was,
like that they do this, actually, because they want it to be a blessing to their city.
Yeah.
So about a week before each taping, they put an online entry form up where you would receive passes that are given out in pairs for every show. And so,
Is it free? Do you know? Is it free or is it ticketed? We don't know.
Good question.
Okay, that's okay. Well, you can look that up and find that info online, too.
I think it's free.
Okay.
And I believe they say, like, if you see that there's tickets for sale, then don't buy them because they're not real.
Right. Well, or they're just profiting from free tickets.
Well, I don't think that
Yeah.
you can transfer them or something.
I see.
I think is how it works.
Yeah.
So anyway, 2 or 3 days before the show, they randomly choose the winners.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying you couldn't really just like, do I want to go to Austin to see Austin City Limits? Well, you can't plan a trip around. You don't even know if you're going to land the tickets.
Yes, true.
So if you know you're going to be there.
Yeah.
And when they put that week's up, you can try to get them.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's not like you can plan a trip around if you get, if you get the tickets. Because at that point, it's probably too late to buy an airfare.
True.
To get there.
That's true.
But I like that they do it that way.
Yeah.
So that, they keep it pretty local. Anyway, that's on their website.
Yeah.
How you go about getting the tickets. And then if you want to watch the show, if you don't have any intentions of going, but you just like, I want to check this out.
Yeah.
For 4 weeks, the 4 most recent broadcast episodes are available to stream for 4 weeks.
Cool.
So that's something else you can do.
That's just on pbs.org, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. You can also watch clips and behind the scene videos there as well. And then in addition to watching on the PBS site, they Austin City Limits has a YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
And on that, you can watch artist interviews, video outtakes from the show, things like that.
Cool.
And then I'm sure there's some other YouTube.
Yeah. And if you want to watch it live, just check whatever your local PBS station is and find where what time and everything's there. Or if you're just like, okay, we didn't get tickets to the show. We're here in Austin. I'm very interested in Austin City Limits. You could still go behind the scenes and do their venue tour of the Moody Theater. That starts at 11 a.m. Monday through Saturday. It's about a 90-minute tour. And
go see the famous city background.
Yeah, you get to go behind the scenes. You get to see all this apparently stunning music photography from the years, hear insider stories, and just walk in the footsteps of all those legendary stars that have taken the stage. So that takes place, like I said, Monday through Saturday. I think it meets just right there at the box office, which is located on Willie Nelson Boulevard.
So great.
Basically, that's West 2nd Street. But yeah.
Well, this show would never have happened without the desire of the then program director at KLRN, Bill, I hope I say this right, Arhos. It's Arhos, Arhos. He lived from 1934 till 2015.
Cool.
And in 2014, Austin City Limits established their own Hall of Fame. And I loved that he was one of their founder, Bill Arhos, was one of the inaugural inductees.
Sounds right. Yes.
Absolutely. As well as Willie Nelson, Stevie Ray Vaughan, a couple others.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was his idea and birthing that caused this almost 50-year-old show to be born.
And really, what I read was that they were just looking for show ideas. And
yeah.
So
the producer, Paul Bosner, and the director, Bruce Scaff. Those 3 guys, I think, really were wanting to put Austin on the map.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
More for the music, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're a Southern music lover or just
music lover, and
music
you happen to find yourself in the South,
this is a huge piece of Southern culture that a music lover would just thoroughly enjoy. So,
and I think there's books, documentaries, all that. If the
Yeah.
podcast has piqued your interest,
yeah, this is just an appetizer for you. So, enjoy it. Check out PBS and find your local listings. Until then, peace be with y'all. Have a good week. Leave us a review.
and share with another music lover.